because of this program, this show, some people have told me that PDP was not in fact a political party.
Was not
a political party. The PDP was a special purpose vehicle being created from behind by the military because they wanted their own kind of persons to take over from them.
No, it's not true.
It's not true?
It's not true. It's not true. The people that formed PDP, the arrowhead was Otele Sekweme, excuse me. Otele Sekweme is not a darling of the military. So they didn't have a hand in the formation, but they had a hand in bringing Obasanjo in as their own man who they can trust. And that is why Ekweme lost to Obasanjo in the Jos primaries. Because Ekweme is not part of his pre-recall for the military. So the military funded General Obasanjo fully, and campaigned for him too, and did whispering. You know, you can whisper to people, this is where our interest is, and they did it for him. So it's
go back to how you went into the Anambra election.
We now formed it, and in December of 1999, after Obasanjo has emerged and won to be president, we decided to have permanent structure for the party, because all the officers we had them before were interim officers. For example, in Southeast we were located national secretary and one other position for interim. Dr. Kwesile Zemodo, the Ekweme nominated him to be the interim secretary, and that caused some brouhaha, raised dust. Some people like Dr. Chubo Kadiwo were angry and said they were not consulted and that they would have wanted the job. So everybody was now forced to go into the convention to elect officers. I contested under the instrumentality of my mentor Ekweme. I contested as national secretary, which was zoned to Anambra State. In fact, the secretary was again zoned to Southeast. And because of Modo being the incumbent, it was zoned back to Enugu. And then national secretary and the official, as national secretary and the official, zoned to Anambra State. So I contested for as national secretary at Eagle Square. I won. And my winning was an upset because the governor of my state didn't support me. He had another candidate.
Who was that then?
Dr. Achimwoke Baduju. He had Chief Sylvester Okonkwo
as his preferred candidate.
As his preferred candidate, because late Annie Okonkwo had given him Sylvester. Annie Okonkwo is from my local government, but with Sylvester. So we came out to Eagle Square and squared it off. They said I should step down. I told the governor I won't step down. He said, you will fail. I said, I won't fail. At Eagle Square. He said, you're a very stubborn man. I said, yes, but I will win this election. Governor, leave us so that the delegates will vote for us. So by the time I gathered the delegate votes from Kano, where I had friends, gathered from Abia, from Ojuzokalo, gathered from 3 other states. Ojuzokalo was governor, Abia. Ebonyi, we divided the votes. A lot of Ebonyi people liked me. Some Enugu also gave me. Then I went up north in Lagos and gathered all their votes. And I defeated the governor and his candidate. Very big upset. Nobody believed it could happen. In fact, after the announcement, they wanted to change the results. And I got wind of it. And I ran to Chief Deleko, who was one of the returning officers, and my friend too. I said, PDC, this one said they will change this result. He said, no, nobody can change it. So he took the result and went and certified it. It in the computer because he was advisor to Mr. President then, special advisor on foreign matters for foreign affairs. So that's how I became assistant secretary. And Chibaramba's government was elected party chairman to replace Solomon La, who is from North Central. In fact, all positions went back to their zones as was done in the caucus meeting. So that's how I became assistant national secretary. And I served for 2.5 years as national secretary. And later
Ngige, you know, this has been a long conversation.
Yes,
but the meat is not here.
Yes, now I became governor.
Yes, but I'm going to take that when I come back for this. Okay. Of course, I told you that you are going to have an exciting morning this morning. And it's a cool conversation. Meeting the man, ChrisNgige. I need to take a break. Enjoy a bit of this, please, and I'll be back. Stay with us. Well, I said to you at the beginning, you are going to get as much firewood as possible. I'm sure that you are getting much more than expected. At least you know him. You know the beginning. You know the venturesomeness, how he left his capel, and what do you call that? You put in your ears.
Stethoscope.
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 Ngige, you eventually contested. You are going to tell me that when I said, let me allow the much I've gotten to sink. How did you now get into the contest of Anambra governorship?
Yeah. When I was being president of our People's Convention in 1997, I didn't know Abacha would die in 1998. But I had told my people that I'm going to enter politics next year, and that politics will be the things that we will use in developing this town. That we cannot develop this town with contributions from you people, from your trading business in building materials and textiles in William Street or Onitsha or Balogun in Lagos. That development doesn't come to a town like that. And that I will go to politics, having left this, that I'm sending a note of advisory that development for this town will come from people who are in government, either as our in-laws or as our sons. So what I had in mind when we were forming PDP was that I want to go to Senate. I wanted to go to Senate. So after the formation of PDP, and the doors were thrown open, I took a form to vie for the senatorial seat of Central Anambra, because I'm from Central Alo. Alo is in the Idemili South local government of Central. So, unfortunately, my brother Anio Okonkwo also indicated interest. He's from Ojoto. Ojoto is neighboring town to me. Then our elder brother Mike Ajebo of Minaj, better known than any of us, also indicated interest. He had been to 2 constitutional conferences before. 1995 and the one of 1995 of Bacha and that of Babangida in I think 1991 or so.
Yeah, that's Babangida.
Yes. So Mike attended all. So when he came out, and fill the form. I knew there was trouble. I knew Okonkwo was to fill the form. Cash man, he has plenty of money. And was already doing politics before us. He was in the SDP. So we started. Then the governor called me. Mbadinuju. He was then a new governor. In fact, he was a governor-elect. Governor-elect because the election to the Senate or National Assembly will follow.
Yeah.
But they themselves have been elected. Excuse me. So he said I should step down for Ajebo.
The second time in Tafawa Balewa, and now?
No, that was the first time. Tafawa Balewa was later.
Okay.
Later in 1999.
Okay.
But this one was happening around January. But they, as governor-elect, their election took place, I think, either in December or that same January. So that time, I was still a good boy now. So I went and discussed with Ajebo, and I stepped down because he's my friend. He's a member of Aki Kenge. In fact, he was one of those supporting me very seriously in Aki Kenge. So I stepped down. So when Mbadinuju had done 3 years and governors were being assessed, the party assessed him and said he won't go back. That the assessment they did and the evaluation and monitoring they did on Anambra State, that the party is in bad shape. That civil servants were being owed, teachers were being owed, hospitals were closed down, schools closed down for 1 year, and the rest of them all. Anyway, they said they wouldn't go again. The then president, Obasanjo, bought the idea. They told Mbadinuju, who is my friend, too, because I believe in constitutional authority. I've told you, he told me to step down that time, and I agreed. So I started pursuing my Senate ambition. I bought my Senate form, filled my Senate form, submitted. It was when we were trying to go to primaries that some people came to me, led by Professor B.C. Nwosu and Ben Akaboeze, who was in Lagos, under Ndibo, Lagos. They said they needed somebody to go and be governor in Anambra State, their home state. And that's why they're inviting me. And I said, okay, I don't want to disrespect you. I'm already running for Senate. So I don't think I will be able to go to this assignment. Moreover, Governor Mbadinuju is a friend of mine. He's not a hostile governor to me. He has cooperated with me, even though he didn't support me to be a national secretary. When I became a national secretary, he is supportive. At least he gave all of us in the party a 406 vehicle to support us do our work. I had my own cars though, but he did that, and we thanked him. So I thought we had finished the discussion with ABC Nwosu and the others. Then my friend Chris Obi entered into the fray. And said, Igbo leader, everywhere I go, they have said it's you. Everywhere I go, they say it's you. And I say, yes, but you know I'm running for Senate, and I want to be a senator. He said, no. You have to reconsider. So I refused to reconsider. I continued with my pathway to the Senate. They organized primaries. I presented myself for Senate and I won. So they came for screening of governors, led by Brigadier General Sabo, retired, in Hotel Presidential, Enugu. They were screening people for governorship in the southeast, state by state. So for Anambra, they screened him by the Niju, they screened Chudi Ofodile, they screened Phil Abasi, they screened one man called Bishop or so. I refused to go for the screening because I don't want to be governor. It's not facilitated to me. I wanted to be a senator so that I can do constituency projects for my people. That is the narrow-mindedness. So when I said it, they then took me to the then president, Obasanjo, to introduce the man they have chosen. When we got there, they said, Obasanjo said, I know Chris, I know this man. Is he not the one who caused confusion in the in the NEC meeting? You raised constitutional point of order that what we are trying to do for NEC to nominate him and approve him as presidential candidate and Atiku as VP candidate, that we should not proceed, that is against the constitution, and truly meet into confusion. Yes, I did so, because a section of the constitution says that it's only the convention that can nominate presidential candidates, and it's only a state congress that can nominate governors. Those powers were not delegated to inferior organs of the party, but they wanted to do it that day in Wadata House. So I refused. I stood up. I refused. So people say that it's not in the constitution. I brought out my constitution. I carry my constitution about. I brought it out. I gave it to a legal advisor, the late Madaki. Joanna Madaki was our legal advisor. So everybody rushed to the PDP bookshop to buy constitution that day after it was read. So Obi was national chairman. He also was in a quandary, because Obasanjo was eyeing him and thinking that he was the one who instigated me. But I didn't discuss anything with Audu. So Obasanjo said, I remember this face, I remember this Chris. Is it the man who people brought for governorship? They say yes. ABC was to say yes. Chris Oba said yes. One other man said yes. Obasanjo told him to give us some chance, me and him. And he asked me, yeah, people have come here, even the bishop and Ekwenwa had also come, and they say they are their candidates for restructuring the place. I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so they told me, and I told them no, but I don't want to be. He did like this. He said, what? I said, yes, yes, sir. They are trying to force me. I told him I don't want. Obasanjo was shocked, the president. He shouted and said, ABC, Andy, all of you, come on. When they ran and came, he said, yeah, because we were in a cubicle where he sees people. He said, this man said he doesn't want to be governor. And people they were short of words. They said, no, sir, it's not true. He said, no, but that's what he's saying here. And I've asked him, he said he doesn't want to do the work because he knows his own character, that he will quarrel with a lot of people. overdoing things that he doesn't want to do. So they say, Baba, leave him to us. We have discussed before. He's now coming here to change his absurd. So we went out. On the road, they nearly boxed me. I kept quiet. So we left it at that. And I didn't go for the screening. And I went home to my hometown for Christmas. And then my phone rang. It was 090 phone that time. And it was Andy Oba calling me from Otta. He said, hold on for president. Baba Obasanjo. He said, Chris, I said, yes, sir. He said, is it you? I said, yes. Where are you? I said, I'm in my village for Christmas, sir. Because that was 26th. He said, well, the result from the party and everything is that you did not show up for screening for governorship. I said, yes, sir. I didn't show up because I've already done that of Senate. And moreover, I had malaria that day. I wasn't feeling well. It's okay. Okay. Whether you have malaria or not, or you have gone to Senate screening, let me warn you. You will not be a messenger even in any office as far as PDP is concerned if you don't go to that screening. I said, sir, but they have finished the screening. And he said, yes, I know. I've spoken to the national chairman of the party. And they will arrange your own screening for you in Abuja. They wait for you. I said, sir, this is public holidays, so up to... He said, well, I finished talking to you. Wham! He dropped the phone. So I called my elder brother and said, there's trouble. I can't be senator again. No. Look at what these people are trying to do. My senior brother said, well, if he's the president that said this to you, then there's trouble. But I'll start preparing to go to Abuja. Shortly, phone call came. It was Chief Obi and my friend.
The chairman of the party.
Yes. He said, Chris, where are you? I said, I'm in the village. He said, no. Chris, you have to get up and prepare to go to Abuja. The big man is very annoyed with you. So I asked my driver to get ready, to drop me, because it was Christmas. I didn't want to disturb anybody. I said, you should drop me where I can get a charter vehicle to Abuja. So he took me from Alo to 9th Mile. And I called one of my friends in Enugu to come and meet me there. He came. I told him the story. He said, you have to go. So I started a journey to Abuja on the 27th of December while others were doing Christmas. And on the 28th, Vincent Obulafo and Bode George, Dikibo, and all of them have landed Abuja and screened me and said that their screening is superior to that of the committee that they formed. That was how that journey to being governor started. It was on track. They went and cancelled my name in the Senate. Cancelled it. In fact, the man who did the cancellation wrote there disqualified.
So you failed?
He said, I'm disqualified. That I'm vying for 2 positions. That's what the man wrote there. He said, one traditional ruler from Nasarawa.
At least the party was protected legally because you couldn't have vying for 2 positions.
Exactly. That's what the man wrote. So when I saw that one, I knew that the game was up. So I said, okay, we'll do governorship. And that was it. I started moving to organize the primaries. Ibrahim Mantu, Senator Ibrahim Mantu was the chairman of the primaries. came to Anambra, and I won the primaries, organized at Dora Akunyili Center in January. It was done in January. And then some people petitioned. We came to appeal committee in Abuja. They gave their grievances and petition and everything. The video of the primaries were played for them. They were there, and they asked them, where is it? This is secret ballot. It was counted for everybody. So I started the journey. We went to Owerri, where flags were distributed to candidates. The governor of Anambra State came. Flags were given to every other governor except him. Chief Obasanjo, in his wisdom, said he wouldn't give me flag at Owerri while the governor was present. So I didn't receive flag in Owerri. Later on, they phoned me again and said, go and pick your flag at PDP Secretariat. I went.
In Abuja?
In Abuja. And they gave me flag. And I came back to Anambra and started a campaign. Of course, Chris Uba was my main supporter. EBC was also supported. There were some other people. And we did fundraising and every other thing. I went for the election. Election took place around Easter. And I remember that it was Easter Sunday that they announced the result, that I had won to be governor and governor-elect. I became a government property from that time. I was in a hotel. The state security services came to me and said I shouldn't stay in that hotel. They couldn't mount the same for me effectively from there. So I had to go to my village because I had a house in the village. And so they took control of me from then. And there were other things that happened after I had been pronounced governor-elect, which I'm not able to discuss now, like the fact that the Obas changed their mind and said I will not be sworn in. And my deputy made himself available to be the governor. And the whole treachery and saga of kidnap was weaved around his head to take over from me. Even before swearing in, I was not to be sworn in. I was supposed to have been kidnapped on the way to the ground, and he will be sworn in. That it was later all these things were showing, and I give all glory to God. Once you have your hand clean and you want to be doing the good things, God doesn't forsake you. Even if you suffer, He will not allow you suffer in a bad way until you have finished the job He sent you for. Otherwise, that morning for swearing in, I had come and received briefing from Obidients, outgoing governor, in the government house. My deputy had come, and I asked him to follow the deputy governor and do their own handover. He was reluctant to do so. So the deputy governor came back to me where I was seated with him and told me that the deputy governor is not forthcoming for them to go to their own office and do their own, like I'm doing with him here. Because Mbadinju did a formal handover, put it on paper, we both signed that I have received this. So, Deputy Governor Emeka told me that they were not able to do that. That was the morning of swearing in. And then after, my deputy came to me and said that we should go into town. That ChrisNgige is waiting for us in his guest house. And then from the town, we will now come to Ekweme Square, which is the swearing in ground. So as we left government house, against protocol and security measures, we passed by Ekweme Square and started going to the guest house. The director of State Security Service was shouting from his car that this is abnormal. He was radioing and telling the man who was with me that we should go back. So when we got to the guest house at a place called Udoka Estate in Oka, he jumped down, Director SSS, Mr. Ngige, and shouted, Governor, this is wrong. We should be going to the house. There's a vacuum in government because Manager had gone and I had not been sworn in. So we asked whether ChrisNgige is in the house, and the security men said he had not come. So we detoured immediately and went to the ground for swearing in. By the time we got there, and they called my deputy governor to come for swearing in first, as is usually done, there was some reluctance to go forward and do so. Anyway, ChrisNgige later came. Ceremony had started when he came, and drove into the square and placed his vehicle on the red carpet. And he greeted me, we greeted, and a few minutes after, Deputy Governor came back from his swearing in. I went and I got sworn in. Later, I was to understand that if we had come down at that guest house, that I would have been captured and injected with either Lagatil or Finobab or one of the drugs that put somebody off to sleep. And the Constitution has a proviso in section, I think 155, that if a governor or president is not able to be sworn in for any reason, the deputy will be sworn in to fill that position. That was what would have happened that day. But it didn't happen.
It did not happen, Ngige.
So that's the journey. You can see the tortuous journey.
Very tortuous.
Convoluted journey.
But you still became governor.
Yes.
And then Dr. ChrisNgige, you know that it's not my job of a journalist to recall the applause you received as a governor. Can we look at some of the achievements you registered as a governor?
Yeah. Very good. I don't know how to recall these achievements because it will look like I'm blowing my trumpet.
We don't know them, so you tell us.
But it's common knowledge, so even the journalists like you, that Anambra was in a very bad state by the time I came there. Number one, fiscal measures. The state was owing banks. Monies they have taken from banks, debts. The state was also owing public servants, civil servants in the ministries, and public officers in parastatals were owed. Teachers had 12 months unpaid salaries, and in some local government, It was up to 18 months. And these local governments in question are Idemili North, Ihiala, the local government of the governor, no, the outgoing governor. Part of Idemili South, then Njikoka. Their own salaries were 18 months. Because it's compounded by the fact that the local government chairmen that exited were also owing before they went. And the governor came and started owing his own. So, holistically, the debt profile was about 42 billion when I came. I was afraid. I looked at the receipts, the revenue receipt from the Federation account, otherwise called FAC. It would take me, in fact, at the end of 4 years tenure to pay. So I put in a panel immediately, because of my public service background, a contract review and debt recovery panel headed by Justice Kezo. Justice Kezo just retired about 3 months before then. And I put in the panel and gave them also a technical team immediately, headed by late Obuefi of Obuefi and Partners, a real estate firm, a quantity surveying firm. So that technical team had engineers, architects, quantity surveyors, accountants, and everything. They were to support the Justice Kezo. So I told them, anybody who says the Anambra State government is owing him or her, go to that panel, do your submission. Show your certificates that were generated, and we will do what lawyers call locus impo. We'll go to the site and see how this money was owed you.
And what job you did.
Exactly. If there are supplies, we want to see the SRV, store receiving vouchers. And when we get the SRV, we'll look at the distribution. Where did they go? These products. All this is because I was a civil servant and I was a budget officer at one time in hospital services. So I came with that background. That debt of 42 billion, we started cutting it down during verification. At the end of the day, it fell down to 18 billion.
18?
18. So a lot of them.
The state controversy.
Were bogus debts. A lot of them were for job not done. So the genuine debts, like the recurrent expenditures, salaries and wages, I started with them first. So I started liquidating the gratuities, severance. And when I finished with gratuity, we computerized everybody that is on that scheme, because they are also pensioners. And then we looked at their pension and paid. The pensions we didn't pay were the ones that have component of East Central State and Old Anambra State. They needed some kind of special reconciliation with the report of the panel that divided the assets and liabilities of the old Anambra into Enugu, Anambra, and even Ebonyi. Then we computerize the gratuities that you don't need to come to anybody, because people were standing around my office and getting notes from people that they know, who said they know me. In fact, my elder brother brought some people one day, and I warned him and say, if you bring any note again for anybody to be paid gratuity, that person, I'll remove the person's name. It won't be paid forever. Let the computer do it. First to retire, first to be served. Last to retire, last to be served. My brother was a public servant and he agreed with me completely. In fact, he was a sub-treasurer and an accountant. He was very apologetic. So we put it in the computer. So the computer was doing that work for us. So people would stay in their houses and they would tell them that your name has appeared though.
Go collect.
Go and collect. They say, is it possible in this Nigeria? Not to talk about Anambra State. Anyway, so we liquidated them. So when people come and say Anambra was bad when they took over from Ngige, and that they are paying pensions and they are standing gratuity, I don't know where that is coming from. I had no outstanding gratuity before I left. I had no outstanding salary because we put salary, gratuity, and pension on first line charge.
Permit me as a
that
journalist.
was an executive order I did.
Dr. Ngige, permit me as a journalist to quote, but the narrative by the former Labour presidential candidate in the 2023 election,
yes,
Peter Obi, who took over from you, really?
Exactly. It was my successor.
He met a messy situation. Gratuity is not paid, salary is being owed, and
the good thing is that we shared the same accountant general. If my accountant general, Mrs. Obinwa, wasn't good, he wouldn't have kept her. Because Mrs. Obinwa would do accountant general and an advisor to financial advisor. And when she's advising me, she knows I know what she's talking because I was in the system, in Federal Ministry of Health. You understand me?
Okay, I don't want to stir controversy.
No, there's no controversy about it. There's no outstanding gratuity when Obi took over from me. There is no outstanding salary that was not paid when he took over from me. As a matter of fact, I left in all the accounts of Anambra State 13.8 billion for him. So how is it a messy situation? In my infrastructure account, I've got an infrastructure account for my roads, for water supply and everything, the infrastructure account. I kept them in different pockets where we have our account. We have our account in Fidelity Bank, which is even Obi's bank. It was then Guardian Express. We had the other, is it local government, in Akimbola's bank. Forgetting the name of that bank. But that's what it is. And even there, if you go to that Guardian Express, you will see security account written boldly. My security vote. I was only governor doing that. Other governors put fictitious name and stuff like that. But I told my PS and SAG, those operating the account, please label the security vote so that people can ask you people what we are doing with this money or where this money went to. So Obi received 13.8 billion from me. And if you check that 13.8 billion at that time, vis-a-vis the dollar equivalent, because the dollar was at about, I don't know whether it's 80 or whatever, to 80 naira to a dollar or something like that. It's about $170 million or 172. So I left money for him. He should be money enough to say it. And he put up a committee. He put up a panel, Justice Odoneba Committee, to probe the finances of Anambra State after I had left. Vis-a-vis the jobs done. And that committee came out with a report that they have checked all the accounts of Anambra State, that I left about 8 billion in infrastructure accounts. I left about 2.something billion in Zenith Bank. under Subek.
That's under education.
Education. That I left 1 point something in CBN, in Kumbad, money I in Kumbad from ISPOs, irrevocable standing payment orders that were fraudulent. So these are documents, they are government documents. Orient Petroleum, I invested. I get the money on behalf of the government. The State Executive Council approved it, we gave them. And I said, we are giving you, but these lands you are occupying, you pay us back. They say now, okay, they will monetize the land we have given them. They monetized it. It came to some billions. And it was Anambra State kind of investment. So he didn't inherit a bad state at all.
But when I talk about bad state, he also said that the roads were not passable, and that to his credit, he opened up Anambra.
Who is saying is not passable? Is it
the roads you handed over, the infrastructure you left behind?
The roads I handed over to B, most of them are federal roads and few state roads. They are still standing today, 21 years after. No pothole. Go and check. Ask any Anambra persons. I go to Anambra. The roads we are using today are the roads I did 21 years ago, because I use reputable contractors. I use RCC, Israeli-based RCC. Most of my roads were designed in Haifa, Israel. When I'm giving them the contract, I say, RCC, inbuilt into your sum is money for the survey and design of this road. Most of the roads are anti-erosion roads. They have drainages on both sides, big drainages, and they carry the water. Once you don't leave water on the road, the roads will last. Asphalt, or even surface dressing, bitumen, they don't like water. Water damages anything. So once you have a road that is not properly built and cambered in this way, so that water doesn't stay on the roads would be destroyed after 2 or 3 years. And that's the kind of road some people are building, some governors, which is wrong. You should use first-class things
to do quality jobs.
Yes, do it as if you're doing it for your own personal use. The same with the money in the state. It's not your personal money. It's the money that is due for everybody in the state. The people are counted. Population-wise, that's why population is an index. It's one of the factors used in distribution. But some people use security vote as money for granite, pocket money, and things like that. No. So my roads
are still there.
They are still there. 21 years after. They were built 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. There are 20 years, some are 20 years, some are 19 years, some are 21. Those are built in 2003 are 22 years old.
Let us take good. From this conversation, the money you left can be verified.
Yes.
Let's take good.
Yes.
From this conversation,
yes,
the roads you built are still standing there.
Let's take
good.
Yes. They are talking.
Dr. Ngige, the conversation in this country today really is that PDP is not this conversation, but we just have to interrogate it.
Yes.
One of the high points of his governorship was what he did with education.
Yeah.
Anambra came number 1. He returned the schools to missions, created discipline, and Anambra began to excel.
Well, thank you.
Do you contend that?
Do you know I'm not vying for president?
No. I'll come to that. I won't say no.
If I start talking about what I gave and what he's saying, he met, it will look like I want to pull him down. They will say it's a pull down syndrome. I won't pull him down. He's my younger brother. He's the same age mate with my brother, the senior advocate. Yes, we should be helping them to grow. I'm not vying for president, but in education, it should not be economical.
With the facts.
With passing accolade to whoever deserves it. He took over from me. He wasn't happy when he came there. He said I took a portion of his tenure. But in education, by my broadcast in 2005, October 1, to people of Anambra State, I handed over 95 schools to the missions. To let the Obiefuna, Archbishop Obiefuna, and Okafo, and Okeke of Newi, they took some schools, primary and secondary. The Anglican Mission, Oleba and Ekwenwa, they got some of their schools. We can send the Okeke at Onisha, Bishop, and Opalat in Newi. I give them schools. 95. Handed over by my Commissioner of Education, Professor Leonard Moalo. We did that. And we started paying the teachers that are there as per what we call grant-aided schools. I told you I attended St. John's Salo.
Yes, sir.
Reverend Fathers were our principal and our teachers. Father Ryan, Father Fitzpatrick. The teachers that were there, Nigerians and others, were paid by Education Ministry. That is what we call grant-aided. So I'm a beneficiary of that. So I practiced it. And even my secondary school was one of those we gave back to the missions. But nobody is talking about it. The only difference that I wasn't giving my grant into the accounts of the missions with bolder checks that with signboard. I wasn't doing that. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Let the result speak for itself. ASUBEB, my ASUBEB, I paid 1.6 billion to federal. And they funded it. And we started using it to renovate the schools, buy educational materials. And luckily, we had a kind of lock-in for JSS 3 to JSS 1 to merge with the primary component of ASUBEB. So we use it to develop some secondary school too. We use it to give some education material to secondary school. Apart from the one we buy as Ministry of Education, Anambra State. ASUBEB gets from SUBE. So when SUBE, Abuja, evaluated the schools in Nigeria, Anambra won 2004, won 2005, won 2006 evaluation, and received prizes. And it also manifested in the school sat that followed it all. I had laid that foundation. I had started doing that before I left in 2006. So how can you say you got things that were awfully done? I was a civil servant. I had ideas of what to do. But he wasn't a civil servant. He was a trader. He said he's a trader.
He says so.
He says he's an importer. He knows those ones more than me. But administration, government administration, I'm better than him. So that's what I applied in Anambra State. I laid good foundation for him. And he built on the foundation. I'm not going to say he didn't do. He built on it. One thing he did also, which is good, is that he followed my pattern of cutting down waste. I didn't allow any civil servant to do an extra code for travel more than 2-3 days. No. I tell them, if you're going for a conference, leave that morning. Arrive at your conference, finish first night, second night, third night, you start coming back. So I blocked leakages. There was no First Lady's office when I was governor. Go and ask. I closed it down. I'm the one who closed First Lady's office down, not Obi. Yes. So I don't want to enter any controversy.
Well, let us leave the
because this thing will stir up controversy.
Please,
then
please.
The Obidients will now say I'm disobedient.
No, please don't be. Please don't be.
I'm not an obedient.
But you're not disobedient.
But I'm not disobedient.
Thank you very much.
So don't.
I'm not going to drag into being disobedient.
And whenever I see my junior brother Peter Obi, I will tell him, I will caution him, not to be saying that he met nonsense in Anambra. No.